Hey everybody, it's Grant with an installment on what I've been doing with my free time. I'm actually trying to design and 3D print an Orrerry. And an Orrerry is the mechanical model of the solar system. But it's hard, and so I've taken on a rather simplified model, which is just using the Earth and the Moon to see if I can get those to work, and also learn about gears and also about Fusion 360. And boy, a lot to learn, some successes and failures I'm going to relate to you in this video, and a second installment which I'll show you how the 3D prints actually worked out for version 1. You can pretty much expect, as you'll see by the end of these two videos, why you'll get a further installment hopefully in a few weeks when I get a little further along and cover some of my errors or undo some of my errors. Here's the 3D model in Fusion 360. And I'm just going to isolate the layers for you and show you how it's built. And basically, I just created a frame on the bottom-most level to hold the gears in place. And then after that, I've got 3 sets of gears here. Those 3 sets of gears are also connected to an axle. Those gears, the top one has the Earth on it, on top of the screen, and essentially at the bottom of it I've got a crank handle down here. The idea here is that I'll translate 1 revolution of the crank handle, which is attached to this gear, through this idler gear to a similar tooth 60 gear teeth here, and that will turn the Earth on its axis once per revolution of the crank handle, and that's the base of the model. But on top of that, I also want to rotate the Moon appropriately as well. So what I did then is also created a frame to hold on, to separate the first or the base layer from the secondary layers. The secondary layer of teeth start with a mid-gear in there with 80 teeth and a 140 tooth gear. According to my calculations, if I rotate this gear, every time I rotate this gear once, this should rotate 1/28 is the idea, so that 1 rotation of this gear not only drives the Earth underneath, but on top it will drive independently the Moon once every 28, 1/28 of a revolution. Thus, 28 revolutions of the Earth will be 1 revolution of the Moon. So in order to facilitate that, this second level of the blue gear here, the Moon, is not connected to the axle here. It's actually free. It's independently. So the under axle is driving the Moon, or sorry, the Earth here, and the above part of it is driving the Moon. If we put on, then attach the Moon via an arm here, and then a post, plop the Moon on top, there's essentially the configuration I'm after. But the other thing I want to add, just to make it more complicated or more realistic, is the motion of the tidally locked motion of the rotation of the Moon and the rotation of the Earth. So to do that, I put on a 3rd set of gears here. That one will be attached to the Earth. Next one will be attached to the Moon, and there'll be an idler gear to drive that in between. So hopefully when I print this, the parts will fit, and it'll actually work.